Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Authentic Info Podcast. I'm your host, Admire Sandelejawu. Now, there's a recent interview where Kunene was answering questions coming from one of the juniors. So he sounded very worried about the behavior of the DA under the Johannesburg Metro, saying that they are the people who are always collapsing the office of the mayor because they want to have everything for themselves. He states that they want to have a mayor who comes from the DA, a spokesperson who comes from DA, and things like that, and have a lot of MMC. So they want to be in charge, even though it's a coalition government, saying that the Democratic Alliance have the word democracy in their name, but they are the party which are wise when it comes to understanding the values of a democracy and working together to govern the people of South Africa. He says that they have given them problems when it comes to running things, when it comes to trying to work together to jointly govern Johannesburg as a metro. So this is what some of us complain about when we speak about the DA, saying that when it is a place that is most congested by black people, DA always come up with some negative excuses to render that place or the type of government that exists in that place to be seen to be useless. So Kunene came in to speak about how bad the DA is when it comes to coalition agreements, when it comes to negotiations and things like that. They want to be in control, and if they're not in control, they will always pose motions of no confidence against the mayor just to destabilize, the way the office of the executive mayor works in that particular city or municipality or things like that. So he was speaking mainly about Johannesburg. He also focused on the challenges that he faced as an MMC, being appointed as an MMC, because he says he considers that he knew nothing about the roles of that particular portfolio, but he took it as a challenge. And I'm one of the people who think that he is doing exceptionally well. I mean, he is seen to be doing something. He's seen to be solving the problems of the Johannesburg roads, which is his faculty or department or portfolio where he is focused on. So the duties that are vested in him to make sure that they solve the problems of Johannesburg when it comes to roads and infrastructure related to roads, I think he's hands-on, and he has unveiled or tried to show us or do his own investigations to prove to us what is it that is really happening in Johannesburg in terms of roads infrastructure. Now we see the Johannesburg Roads Agency being working. We see some of the robots coming back to life and things like that. They're trying to build new roads. We see him opening new roads. We see him questioning some of the stuck projects in Johannesburg when it comes to roads infrastructure. So I think Kunene is doing a good job and is representing the Patriotic Alliance very well. I mean, we are looking at a political party which has been silent for the past 10 years because it's very old. I think in November, they are celebrating their 10 years anniversary, which means this is a party which has long been here, but because of its agenda or ideology of trying to represent the colored community, which is a minority group in South Africa. So they were not seen anywhere in the past few years. So they had to restructure. Gayton McKenzie speaks about testing new strategies involving people of all color and things like that. And it says it worked for them. And that is why they are very confident now that they're going to fill Orlando Stadium. But this is about Kunene and what he said. He spoke about a lot of things in that interview which are very interesting. He spoke about, for example, the problem of being labeled a criminal when he was about to assume those duties of being an MMC in Johannesburg, saying that this is something which he has long been labeled. He knew that when he was in prison, a lot of people said he was down and out. And he saw his life going down the drain. But it took it as a challenge that as soon as he come out, he's going to be a changed man and he's going to make a difference in the community. We know Kunene as someone who's always giving back to the community, who's always identifying people with problems, and he uses his own money to help the people. And where the demands are quite higher, he will involve other rich friends of his. So he's saying that the problem of being labeled a criminal cockroach by the likes of CIC, Julius Malema, who's the EFF president, it doesn't come as a surprise because these are people who are trying to score cheap political points, and these are the people who can now see that they are rising. They can now see that the Patriotic Alliance is here. There's a new strategy, and it is talking to the people because it says that people don't want to be given promises. People want reference so that they can trust you with a bigger role. It says this is some of the things that they've realized while the strategies of the Patriotic Alliance were showing some type of slow growth and things like that. So it says that now they have reached a lot of people. They are trusted with at least 8 councillors in Johannesburg and things like that, saying that it's a big growth and they are ready for national come 2024. So he covered a lot of things, but what is interesting is the problems of Johannesburg, saying that the Democratic Alliance is not playing any role that shows that they understand what democracy is. They are always pulling back. They are always presenting motions of no confidence against mayors. They are the reason why Johannesburg is always changing mayors, because they want everything for themselves. They don't want to be challenged. They want to lead alone, even though the people did not trust them with a majority of votes for them to lead alone. So he states that these are some of the problems that they've encountered, when they had to work with the DA until they had to speak and negotiate with other opposition parties which had smaller numbers to form a coalition that will work and entered into an agreement and change policy to say that even though a mayor can be changed, but the MMCs and the structure of the municipality or the metro must remain the same, which is a good thing, because if you see a person like him working, collaborating with the EFF MMC, Dr. Tswako, imagine these people being destroyed. They are trying to challenge and remove illegal immigrants on all hijacked buildings in Johannesburg. Imagine these people who put their lives on the line to challenge these illegal immigrants. I mean, they can be shot and killed anytime, but they put their lives on the line. And then a political party like the DA will come and want to dissolve the structure of the municipality until it works for them. So they're saying that they're going to keep it the same until the next local government elections. And they are very sure that it will remain like that, that even if the mayors are changed, it won't affect the current position or the way they've allocated seats amongst other political parties, which is a great thing, because if you have small political parties whose MMCs are working very well, whose MMCs are seen doing something for the first time, we hear or we see an MMC trending, challenging the problems or exposing the problems of the city, and it exposes the leadership of the ANC, because they have to send people from national, they have to send people from provincial to come and be seen to be doing something in the city whenever there are problems. But it end up exposing them, because it shows us who they are, because they come there to blame it on other institutions or other people. I mean, the Minister of Social Development has come after the Marshalltown fire, the Marshalltown building fire. She came to say, this Linda Wezul, to say she blamed it on the apartheid, that we are encountering situations like this. I mean, 30 years into democracy, this Lindiwe Zulu is someone who is said to be very bully. He's said to be a bully when it comes to people who lack political credentials. He don't want to be advised by people who went to school. She doesn't want to be advised by young people. She wants to talk to the people who went to who were part of the MK, who were part of APLA, who went to the bush to fight. So it's a problem when people like her come to try and give us solutions while she's heading a critical department and she is failing dismally. I mean, SASSA grants are not being paid on time. Others are not receiving these payments and things like that. So when they see that these small political parties like Patriotic Alliance are emerging in the city of Johannesburg where they eat a lot, they have to come and intervene and be seen to be leaders who are concerned about the problems of Johannesburg, but they know nothing. They go there not to give solutions, but to blame it on other organizations and things like that. We saw after the Bree Street best, they went there to blame it on Egoli gas, to blame it on illegal miners and all other people and organizations who came to their mind. And Bree Street is still like that. So there's no solution. And all other buildings in Bramfish and Bramfontein, another building catched fire, another building recently in Marshalltown catched fire, which means they didn't do anything. They went there to parade, to be seen in the media, to canvass and mobilize for the ANC for 2024 and forsake the solutions that could help the black people of South Africa and Africa who are stranded and congested in the city of Johannesburg. So when the people like Kunene goes in to try and see what are the problems and what are the cause of these problems, and then when they try to come with solutions, because some of the buildings that burnt, they inspected them and then they declared them unsafe, but still people continue to stay because there are organizations apparently who are collecting rents, promising these people alternative buildings. And when people like Kunene and Dr. Twago goes in to remove these people, these organizations take them to court. They take them to court and prevent them from removing people from an unsafe building, saying that they must remain there until government give them an alternative. But these people, before they stay in these dilapidated buildings, they were staying elsewhere, because they say that some of them are professionals, some of them are earning good salaries that they can afford even houses. So if a person like Kunene is part of that revolution or organization that goes in, or collaboration that goes in with the MMC of public safety to try and remove people from buildings that are unsafe, and then they are blocked, but still they insist on coming with solutions, because now they were saying they were trying to introduce a new strategy to say they can fix floor by floor, which means they can remove people of one floor, fix that floor, they come back, and then they go to first floor, second floor, until the last floor, fixing these buildings. I mean, other buildings have shacks in them and things like that. So it's a problem, because the national government of the ANC and the province, which is run by Panyaza, they see that these guys are representing their political parties, and come 2024, they are going to speak with reference to the solutions that they gave in Johannesburg, to say, give us Gauteng as a province and things like that, and they're going to contest and eat the ANC alive. And that is what is happening, because all these small political parties, they branch out of the ANC, they branch out of the DA, things like that. So the DA and the ANC are now challenged, and they can see that political parties like the Patriotic Alliance are there, and the leaders like Kunene, who have been looked down, labeled as criminals, as cockroaches and things like that, they are the ones who are on the ground leading. They are the ones who are seen coming with solutions and putting their lives on the line. They don't just make promises, but they come with solutions. They are hands-on. They expose the corruption of Johannesburg. And these are the leaders that people want. The leaders who will update you of what is it that is happening in their portfolio. The leaders who will update you of the progress of of their mandate, because they are given a mandate: go and fix the roads of Johannesburg, go and build new roads, go and make sure that all the projects which are stuck, they are up and running. And that is what he is exactly doing. So, and when he is given a chance to act as an executive mayor, he makes sure that that day he works with the media so that we can see what he is doing and what he could do as an active executive mayor on a permanent term of Johannesburg. So it's a threat to political parties like the ANC. It's a threat to political parties like the DA, and even the EFF can see that a person who they wanted to sell to South Africa as a criminal seemed to be one of the best leaders that are there in South Africa. And South Africa now is vulnerable to leaders who won't give us promises, but leaders who will be on the ground, working, seen to be doing something, executing their duties, and showing results. The problems of Metro Bus, now we know them. The corruption of diesel, petrol, and things like that. Now we know. We even see Johannesburg Metro Police in all corners of Johannesburg, something which before these guys, Kunene and Dr. Taku came, we didn't see them. So these young people from smaller political parties are here, and they are making a difference, and they are making sure that we know what they do, we know what they are doing, and they work with the people, they go with the media, they work with the police. They are using all the available procedures for them to implement the mandate of the people. So when 2024 comes, these are the references that they are going to speak about that give us Gauteng, because we've been tried and tested in Johannesburg. This is what we've done, and we can do these things in a provincial level leadership, trying to revive Gauteng for what it used to be. Because Gauteng was clean, Gauteng was peaceful, Gauteng had the best security, Gauteng had job opportunities, Gauteng had business opportunities, Gauteng was free of illegal foreigners, Gauteng had the best healthcare, Gauteng had the best education system. We now see it coming behind Free State and things like that, which means everything under the ANC-led government is just going down. We are not going up. We are not stagnant. We are heading to the ground. We are falling on our knees. So we need these people like Kunene who will put their lives on the line, because we know that there are some problems that government have that very few politicians can tackle them. And if we see these people as deputy president of a smaller political party taking a job of an MMC, it means that they are trying to show us that they are not waiting for them to be president of the country or deputy president of the country, then they will start working. They start on the ground, so that when they grow to province and national, they are now ready. They have been tried and tested. And I think this is one thing that is scaring away political parties like the DA, the EFF, and the ANC as a whole, because now they can see that these young guys, they are where we used to eat, and they will remain there, and they will grow from Johannesburg if we don't try to disturb them. Because the information in Johannesburg, some say that these organizations that are benefiting from hijacked buildings were given these buildings by the previous administration, which was run by the ANC in Johannesburg, as organizations masquerading as organizations or non-profit organizations that are going to revive the buildings and use them for other reasons, for example, for gender-based violence, for rape victims and things like that, and offense and things like that. But they went there, they didn't fix anything, and they put in people and they collect rent each and every month. And these are politically connected people, and they have organizations of lawyers who they pay to scare away people like Kunene and Dr. Tswago of the EFF, who try to expose this type of corruption because they are eating. So when we see people from national coming in to try and put blame on the apartheid, they want us to shift focus on their people because they are the ones who put their people there to eat from those buildings. So the ANC is being exposed, and the ANC will continue to be eaten alive. It is dying a natural death. It is in its deathbed now. So we should see the ANC for what it is. And in 2024, we shouldn't vote for political party that comes to give us promises, that asks for a second chance. We don't want that. We want a political party that will come and speak about what they've achieved in the previous 5 years. And then we can give them a chance to continue with their projects and things like that. This is Authentic Info Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let us grow together. Subscribe. Watch the other videos which are similar to this one. Thank you.